Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mystery Theory. Today it's another video for the series Mystober. We're planning to share a new video every day for the month of October. I'm gonna say it from the beginning. Today's video, it's a little bit frustrating to share because I don't understand this, and I am not claiming to understand cases, but sometimes having to relate to feelings, it's easier to relate to, or it's easier to do that than understand cases. However, today we're going to talk about people in love with the incarcerated. And I'm not here, I don't even know how to explain myself. I'm not here to say that people that are in jail shouldn't have a personal life or partner or whatever you want to call it. But this particular people that are in love, it's kind of for those of you who remember the Watts case, you know how Grace Watts receives mail every single day from ladies that quote unquote understand why he did it and send him pictures with no clothes, and I'm here like, okay, that is the kind of people that we're going to talk about today. Apparently, according to psychiatrists' research, they are women with a peculiar psychological disorder. The convicted men have a special appeal for them. Well, that kind of explains it, huh? Apparently, these ladies have some kind of what they call this peculiar psychological disorder, and that is why they do it. Still, yeah. Now, if most of us found out, I'm assuming here, a potential love interest, we have had a criminal record, and according to psychologists, most people would probably think twice about getting involved with that person. So, what explains the attraction so many women have for convicted felons they have never met? Okay, this is the perfect example. Remember Scott Peterson, the adulterous husband convicted in 1995 as he sat in the death row at San Quentin Penitentiary, he started to receive fan letters, phone calls, and even, gosh, really, I mean, marriage proposals. There was this other guy, Drew Peterson, who has nothing to do with Scott, who was convicted in 2012 of the murder of his third wife and suspected in the disappearance of his fourth, whose attorney said he received a truckload of mail from women while he was on trial. Apparently, it's called being hot for bad guys. Yeah, I still don't get it. So I'm gonna explain what is, what are the findings of the experts, okay? Because this might explain a little bit more. And if you get as irritated by this idea, maybe this will help you feel better. What they have, it's sometimes called Bonnie and Clyde syndrome. Okay. But the clinical term for the attraction some people have for violent criminals, it's called hybristophilia. Probably butchered that. Though research on this psychological disorder is limited, I just lost my notes. More women seem to have it than men. You don't say. In profound cases, people that suffer from this might end up in a conspirator in her crimes. Okay. The so-called prison groupies who develop crushes on high-profile killers are said to have a lesser form of the condition. Experts suggest a number of reasons that women fall for felons. Some are simply attracted to famous men, and a love letter to a prisoner is much more likely to get a response than one to a movie star. Other women may sincerely believe that the object of their affection is innocent, or may want to save him. Women who communicate with prisoners often suffer from low self-esteem and may have suffered sexual or physical abuse. They see a relationship with an incarcerated criminal as perversely safe because the criminal is behind bars and can never get out. If you're wondering how they manage to initiate contact, it's honestly pretty easy to get in touch with any incarcerated person. Government databases accessible via the internet list the location of many inmates, and websites such as writeaprisoner.com facilitate the email thing between those in the outside world and those behind prisoners do not have access to the internet, so writeaprisoner.com prints out the emails it receives and forwards them to the addresses who reply by regular mail. It's not particularly difficult to marry a convict, just in case you were wondering. The prisoner must request a marriage packet, and the bride or groom to be on the outside must provide proof of citizenship and legal age. Though conjugal visits aren't allowed in federal prisons, a few states allow them in medium or minimum security facilities. Now, there was this controversial request, okay? The internet helps some criminals connect with pen pals. Others have no such luck. Let me talk about this for just a minute. In 2003, Susan Smith, convicted 8 years earlier of drowning her 2 sons, posted the following profile on writeaprisoner.com. It got so much negative media attention that she asked that it be taken down for a few weeks later, I should say. Okay, this is what she wrote. Quote, I am 31 years old. My birthday is September 26. I am looking to meet new people and hopefully become friends. During my spare time, I enjoy reading, working on puzzles, and writing. I love rainbows, Mickey Mouse, the beach, the mountains, and waterfalls. My favorite color is navy blue, and my favorite flower is the daisy. This is a hard letter to read. Ad, I should say. I am a Christian and I enjoy attending church. I consider myself to be sensitive. Okay, that's just that. Okay. She wondered why people got upset over this. She said she was sensitive, caring, and kind-hearted. I am currently serving a life sentence on the charge of murder. I have grown and matured a lot since my incarceration, but I will always hurt for the pain I've caused so many, especially my children. I hope to receive letters from those who are not judgmental, really, and who are sincere. I look forward to hearing from new people and hopefully finding new friends. And then she got me with this one. May God bless each one of you. Guys, you need to understand that I am only human. Even though I try not to judge people. And you guys know that I respect different points of view, and you might disagree with me. You have the right to. I just have to defend myself by saying I'm only human. I believe that people can change. But this is one of those cases where I can't wrap my head around it. So the person that wrote this letter drowned sons and was in jail looking for somebody to talk to. I totally get it. That part, I totally get it. She's feeling lonely and she's looking for maybe somebody out there who's willing to write her. That's her right. And if somebody out there in the world feels the need to respond to her, but what really irritates me, it's the way that she wrote this letter, almost like trying to appeal to somebody. And again, maybe she did change, maybe she was a new person, maybe, you know, maybe she was sick, that's why she did that, and maybe now she's better, she's taking medicine. Maybe she had a psychotic event. Maybe she snapped. Maybe she has a condition. Again, I'm not judging her for that in particular, but it's very hard for me to read a letter that says all that and kind of put it together with a lady that did what she did. I know I'm wrong, and maybe I shouldn't feel this way. I know. But it would be I'd be a hypocrite to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, that's perfectly normal, and it doesn't bother me at all. Sorry. She has the right to get a pen pal, and she has the right to write whatever the heck she wants, but it really, there's something that, especially with kids, it's too much. Now, there's a section of the article that was saying, isn't it romantic? Their inhuman deeds didn't stop them from finding love, or at least what passes for love behind bars. I'm gonna end today's video with 3 different examples, okay, of this. Number 1, Bowling the Butcher. Oscar Ray Bowling was on death row in Florida for raping, beating, and stabbing 3 young women. But this is like a bad thing for me to read. It's kind of boiling my raped and murdered 10 women and girls in LA in the late 1970s. The duo was imprisoned for life, but each of them found a bride. But you look at that. In 1986, Buono married Christine Kizuka, a government employee. I mean, social workers, government employee, right? In 1989, Bianchi married Shirley Book, a Louisiana woman who had corresponded with a number of convicts because he was not the first one, of course, and had reportedly been rejected by, Ted Bundy. She was trying around, okay? You can't blame the lady. She tried different criminals and she ended up with this guy who was happy to have a girlfriend-wife situation. So, this weird thing that we see on TV or we hear on YouTube videos about the Chris Watts case and how ladies are going crazy for him. It happened before. It happened for Scott Peterson, the other Peterson, Drew Peterson. It happened for the Boiling Butcher, Susan Atkins from the Manson cult, the Cousins, and at least Susan Smith tried it. But it's deeper than what it seems. People really, and again, it's kind of in the air because the experts say that this is a psychological disorder that comes from a different psychological disorder, and it's kind of a variation or a deviational part of this, but it's still a psychological disorder, and so more than likely people with perfect, quote unquote perfect mental health, which you know what I mean. I'm trying to be sarcastic here because otherwise it just makes me mad. But according to the experts, people with no mental illness would not be attracted to these criminals. Now, it's hard to say that, don't you think? Because I don't see all the experts going to these ladies and conducting research on each one of them to come to the conclusion of oh my goodness, they have a peculiar psychological disorder. I think it's more kind of rounding up things and kind of generalizing things. And I'm gonna end with this because I think I must say this. There was a part where it says that these ladies were hot for bad guys, and in my case, let's talk about me, let's not talk about anybody else. But my husband, he was not a criminal or anything, but he used to street fight when I met him. Yeah, I mean, really, out of all the guys that I met, I ended up marrying the guy who would street fight. And, he never had a record. He was never a criminal. It's the most hardworking man I've ever met in my life, with the kindest heart. But I'm saying is, I do see that there are other, um, what I mean is that the bad guys, as they call it here, are not really the bad guys, but I think that we could change the theme to criminals, because a lot of people confuse, being in love with a tough guy or with somebody who, I don't know, it's considered a tough guy, like a biker that dresses a certain way, or a guy who has his whole body tattooed and he looks like a quote-unquote bad guy. But this has nothing to do with that, and that's what I'm trying to share here. I think that having this label kind of confused a lot of people, and I think it needs a kind of a clarification in the end. I had some neighbors that were bikers, and they looked very, very scary, and a lot of people called them bad guys. But they were the sweetest people. They were part of the there's kind of an association for child abuse. They were part of that. They were very active. I know that my brother-in-law is covered in tattoos, and he has the sweetest soul that you'll ever meet. What I'm trying to say is that media today kind of confuses how you look on the outside, or maybe some stupid choices that you made while you were young, like my husband did when he was a teenager and a minor, and kind of puts them all in the same bad guy category, when really kind of leaves a lot of people wondering, do I have that disorder? Am I attracted to this guy full of tattoos because I secretly have a psychological disorder, or am I attracted to this guy who, I don't know, who looks scary on the outside but it's a sweetheart on the inside, because I have a psychological disorder? And I guess I needed to make that clarification, because sadly nowadays the media labels people in a way that really kind of bunches everyone in the same one. And one thing is being a criminal, or one of the worst criminals, really. I'm not even saying a criminal, I'm saying Ted Bundy criminal, a butcher criminal, a guy who killed his wife and who was pregnant on Christmas Eve. I am talking about those criminals. I'm not talking about petty things. But those criminals that you hear about, how people love them so much, and how ladies want to marry them. Well, now you know why. But it has nothing to do with the label that society put on certain people that made the wrong choices or look a certain way on the outside. So, that was it for today. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Was it painful to listen to Susan Smith ad? Was it as painful for you as it was for me? And again, I don't want to apologize, but maybe I do, for sharing kind of my frustration with some of the things here. And again, I am not saying that people that go to jail does not deserve to be loved. I am saying that we're talking about some of the worst known criminals and psychological disorder that is attached to some people, in my opinion. So, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to know what your feelings are, and if I'm alone in this one, or if we're just